Seerah Stories presents A Life Worth Knowing, the world's first AI-narrated animated cartoon, Seerah. Episode 4, The Return Home and the Loss. Haleema said her final goodbyes to the people of her tribe, ready to embark on the journey back to Mecca. She held Muhammad close, brushing her hand over his hair, memorizing the feel of him, knowing that soon she would have to let him go. The desert that had been his school, his playground, and his sanctuary slowly faded behind them. It had shaped him with patience, silence, and strength. Now his path was calling him back to the city of his birth, the city that would one day witness a story destined to touch the entire world. When they finally reached Makkah, Amina saw them from a distance. The moment her eyes fell upon her son, she ran forward and embraced him tightly. Tears streamed down her face as she held him close, overwhelmed with gratitude. "My son," she whispered, kissing his forehead again and again. "How you have grown." She noticed it immediately, his strength, his calmness, the serenity that seemed to surround him. Haleema stood nearby, her heart aching. Before speaking to Amina, she knelt down and wrapped Muhammad in a long, trembling embrace. She held him tightly as if trying to pour all her love into that single moment. Not only would she miss him dearly, but so would her family. "My beloved child," she whispered softly, tears falling onto his shoulder. "May God protect you always." When the two women sat together, Haleema spoke first. "Oh, Amina," she said, "I returned him to you not out of neglect, but out of fear for him. Something extraordinary happened, something beyond my understanding. I feared that harm might come to him, and I could not bear the responsibility alone." Amina listened carefully. There was no panic in her expression, only quiet understanding. When Haleema finished, Amina reached for her hands. "Do not blame yourself," she said gently. "My son has always been under the care of God. He was protected before you, and he will be protected after you." Her words brought comfort to Haleema's heart. "You cared for him with love and devotion," Amina continued. "May God reward you for every moment you gave him." As the days passed, Muhammad continued to grow in Makkah, surrounded by family and familiar streets. From an early age, his love for honesty and truth was clear. If his playmates spoke falsely, he would gently correct them. He never took what did not belong to him, and he disliked injustice in any form. The elders of Makkah noticed this and spoke quietly among themselves about his character. When Muhammad reached the age of 6, his mother Amina felt a quiet longing stirring within her. She wanted her son to know where he came from, not only through stories, but through people, places, and memory. North of Makkah lay Yathrib, a fertile city surrounded by date palms, where relatives from his late father Abdullah's side still lived, and where his father was buried before his birth. To Amina, this journey was more than travel. It was a return to roots. Amina, with Muhammad, accompanied by her servant Ayman, joined a trading caravan heading north. The caravan was laden with goods typical of Quraysh trade, fine cloth, leather, and other merchandise bound for the markets of the north. Long lines of camels stretched across the horizon, moving in narrow formations like a living river through the desert. Merchants, guards, and travelers walked beside them, bound together by shared purpose and mutual reliance. For Muhammad, the journey itself was an education as he witnessed how the large group worked in unison to survive the vast desert around them. When the caravan finally reached Yathrib, the landscape changed before Muhammad's eyes. Where Makkah had been dry and rocky, Yathrib was alive with greenery. Rows upon rows of date palm trees lined the city, their tall trunks and heavy clusters of fruit forming shaded paths beneath them. It was the first time he had seen such abundance, and the sight stayed with him. In Yathrib, Muhammad met his extended family from the Banu Najjar tribe. He spent his days among them, listening to their conversations, observing their customs, and absorbing the culture of a city different from his own. There was warmth there, shared meals, familiar faces, and stories of his father Abdullah, spoken with affection and remembrance. Though still young, Muhammad felt a sense of connection, as if some part of him recognized the place. This was a city of strong family ties and community life. After a few months, Amina with her servant prepared to return to Makkah. The journey south began much as the first had, steady, quiet, familiar. But as they passed through a small town called Abwa, everything changed. Amina fell gravely ill, her strength fading rapidly. The desert, once expansive and calm, now felt heavy and unmoving. Despite the care of their companion, there was little that could be done. In Abwa, far from home, Amina passed away. Muhammad stood beside her, too young to fully grasp the finality of death, yet old enough to feel its sharp pain. With her passing, the direct link to his parents was gone. At the tender age of 6, he was an orphan once more. Like, share, and subscribe. Episode 5 dropping soon. Join us as we continue the story in Episode 5.